What about that, eh? An absolutely great result and performance yesterday at the Emirates, and it was good. You know, the whole build-up of the week, the whole build-up of the game was, we're going to get battered. You know, Paul Merson, again, never listen to this guy. We're going to get ripped to shreds, yeah? And you saw all the combined 11s when people were talking about how many Tottenham players would get into this Arsenal team. Never. Or how many Arsenal players would get into the Tottenham team. It was just this whole biased diatribe of, you know, how many were Spurs going to get beat by. Well, we had different plans yesterday, and thanks to the 11 people on the pitch in the colours of white and blue, they got a good result. They got a good performance. And so in this video, I'm just going to go over my player ratings for yesterday. I'm going to rate the players, the substitutes, the manager, and also the officials. And yeah, and then we'll be out of here. So, like I said, just a quick overview of yesterday's game, though. I mean, I thought it was a good game. You know, an entertaining game, back and forth. You know, in my prediction video, I kind of felt that Tottenham needed to be aggressive, but also keep possession for long periods of the time. And we did that, and we needed to keep it mostly in their half. In the first half, we didn't really do that too much. We was keeping the ball in our half a lot of the time, but in the second half it definitely got better, and obviously the statistics bear out that we had more possession than Arsenal. The stats were fairly even, so as an away team you got to be happy with that. But let's look at the player ratings. So I'm going to start with the goalkeeper, Vicario. For me, Vicario, personally, Vicario was my man of the match. I thought he did well. I thought he made some very good saves at important times in the game. Most notably the one from Jesus in the first half when Saka flicks the ball or chips the ball, clips the ball to the back post. And obviously Jesus comes around the back, has a great strike at goal, tight angle, and he parries it away. Good save. I felt he commanded his area well. He came for crosses. I thought he took the pressure off the defence very well. And considering that I've had reservations of him when he first came, in the first few pre-season games I thought he looked a bit shaky with the ball at his feet, and I wasn't sure if he had the presence to command his area. But so far he has impressed me. And you know, the other guy in the other goal, David Raya, who we was meant to be after, I wouldn't say that he looked miles better than Vicario. You know what I mean? So Vicario equipped himself well. He did what he had to do well. So even though he wasn't making save after save, you know, the saves he did make were good saves, competent saves, didn't push things out into bad areas. And he, you know, he collected things in the air and took the pressure off his defence. And I thought he also kept a lot of calm. Like I think there was a save in the first half he made, and I thought he would be ballistic. He was going to go ballistic at some of the defence. I can't remember who. Someone got caught in possession in the first half. No, it was the second half. Yeah, second half, sorry. And I just thought, this guy is so calm. He should be screaming at these players, but he wasn't, and he's just very calm. So kudos to him, and he's a young man. So Vicario for me is personally my man of the match, and I give him an 8 out of 10. Now the defenders. I'm going to start with Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro for me, he had a good game. I'm going to give him a decent 7. I thought he did very well. You know, it was solid. I don't think he gave Jesus much change down there. You know, the only thing I saw Jesus do was when Maddi-Son got caught with the ball in the box, on the edge of the box, and obviously there was a bit where Jesus got around the back post, and obviously the save I just described from Vicario. Those were the two kind of areas where I thought Porro could have done better. I've said this before, that what does concern me with our defence is that Porro does get caught out at the back stick a lot, and there's often times people coming in behind him, and you know, some of our goals that we've conceded have come through that kind of play, that kind of switch over, flick over the back post, and then he's kind of isolated there. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's down to him or whether that's a shape thing at the moment, but it seems to happen down his side more than Udogie's side. But nonetheless, that aside, I thought he gave an assured performance. I definitely love his attacking threat. He's definitely productive on the ball. He made some good passes into midfield and provided support and assistance going down the right-hand side with Kulusevski. I thought he had a good game. So I'm going to give Porro a good 7. Destiny Udogie. Destiny Udogie, he had a good game. I heard Gary Neville talking about, and some other people talking about, Destiny Udogie was struggling early in the game, and he was in trouble, and he was getting battered by Saka. Sometimes I have to wonder about these pundits and people who just comment on things. But don't get me wrong, getting the early yellow card definitely put Udogie into some problems, and that was it. People were complaining about he's giving Saka too much space and all this sort of stuff. But he had an early yellow card, and to be honest with you, I kind of feared for him at this point because the yellow card wasn't a necessary one. I think he got the yellow card after 15 minutes, and then to deal with Saka the way he dealt with him, Saka got no change apart from that little cross shot that he threw in there that obviously gave them the goal. I don't think he gave Saka much change. I thought he done very well. I thought he showed a mature performance being on a yellow card so early. I actually thought that Postecoglou was going to take him off, but he didn't. And kudos to him. That shows a lot of faith from the manager in the player, and the maturity of the player to kind of keep disciplined and stuff like that. But not only did he then get better defensively, I also thought he did well. He supports the attacks quite well. And even on the first goal, it's him who kind of flicks the header, keeps the ball alive, then Maddi-Son turns Saka, and then obviously provides the assist for Son's first goal. And I just think Udogie done very well. So I give Udogie a 7. Christian Romero for me was the poorest player on the pitch as far as from a Tottenham perspective. He obviously, I thought he was at fault for the own goal. I didn't see it as unlucky. I thought he should have been positioning himself better. I agree with Gary Neville. I didn't think he should be flinging his foot at it like that. The ball's travelled quite some distance. He's got enough time to see, he should know where he is in the box in relation to the goal. He shouldn't just be swinging out legs. So I thought that was poor play from him. Obviously the handball against him I thought was unlucky. And there's other few times when I just thought he was very rash in the challenges. I think he's sometimes a bit casual on the ball. I thought there was a few sloppy passes from him. So he didn't have his best game. Don't get me wrong, he still contributed in a telling way, but I just thought he didn't have his best game. And so I thought it was a bit under par from Romero, so I'm going to give him a 6. Mickey van der Ven. I actually think Mickey van der Ven is probably the better defender out of the two. I know we like to see Romero's aggression and stuff like that, but the composure of Van der Ven is just, he makes me watch Tottenham with a nice, easy heart rate. He's just so assured. He doesn't rush his work. He made a good couple of recovery tackles, and then when he gets the ball, he just distributes it with no real pressure. I feel like sometimes Romero is a bit sloppy with the ball, whereas Van der Ven takes good care of the ball. Won a couple of aerial battles as well. I just thought he gave a very assured performance. I didn't see him troubled at all in that game. So Van der Ven for me gets an 8. Midfielders, Pape Sarr. Yes, Sarr again, another one similar to Udogie, ended up getting in the book. I thought a bit needlessly, but nonetheless he showed a mature performance as well, considering again you're talking about key areas on the pitch. Again, a good, trust of faith from the manager there, and he gave us steady, assured performances. He kind of nullified a lot of what Arsenal were doing. Broke out a lot of their play. So I'm gonna give Sarr a 7. I thought he equipped himself well. Basuma did a very good game as well. Again, love the ability where he can turn the defence into attack, glides past people. It's hard to knock off the ball. Then he does generally find his a Spurs shirt when he releases the ball. Very strong, very composed. I don't think he gave, Declan Rice and Fabio Vieira, and I can't remember the other person in there now. He gave them no change. People big up Declan Rice and all this kind of stuff, but Basuma is better than him. He's a better footballer. I think he's got more talent. I think he's got a higher ceiling. Only because Declan Rice is British, where there's a whole craze over him. But I think Basuma is definitely, if not on his level, better than him. So I gave Basuma at 8. Maddi-Son, another one. You could have gave Maddi-Son man of the match as well. Often, I think some people did. I think he got the official man of the match. Again, 2 brilliant assists. You know, in the first half, a bit too deep for us, so he wasn't really kind of been able to do his thing. But towards the end of the game, towards the end of the first half, he came alive, provided assists, and then, to be fair, I actually felt that our play changed when he went off, and obviously he got that knock. You know, he kind of jolted his knee, and it kind of, you know, probably took off for a precaution. I think if James Maddi-Son stayed on the pitch to the end, I think we might have created a couple more opportunities and maybe been able to win that game. So, but anyway, J-Mo had a good game, and I'm going to give him an 8. And down to the forwards. Brennan Johnson, I was calling for Brennan Johnson to start this game. I thought it did make sense to start him ahead of Solomon. I just think he's going to be a better player than Solomon ultimately. I think he's got better attributes. He did well, had a good chance there, good save by David Raya. I thought he worked hard for the team. He's a threat going in behind. I do think he was part of the problem with the Arsenal's first goal, but again, that's down to obviously relationships on the pitch. It's his first start. Him and Udogie may have to get used to working with each other and who's going to pick up the run and who's going to stay with the guy on the ball. So there was obviously a miscommunication there. Don't necessarily blame him for that. That's between them, maybe the managers and the team to kind of sort that one out. But ultimately, I thought we had a good full debut, and I say a full debut. He came off injured, which was not a good look. You know, I hope that's not too serious, because I do want to see more of Brennan Johnson. But I'm giving Johnson a 7. And Kulusevski on the other side, I thought Kulusevski had a good game as well. You know, good positive running. I thought he, took on his fullbacks well. Zinchenko, I think it was. And, he made a lot of inroads, used the overlap of Porro quite well. And there was times when he came in field and found Son or found Maddi-Son, found players. I thought he did well, and I thought he did good defensive work as well. I thought it was a very good, solid performance. But, it wasn't a standout performance like, the Maddi-Sons and the Sons, but I definitely feel he contributed significantly to the work of the team, the shape of the team and stuff. So Kulu gets a 7. And Heung-min Son, the silent assassin, the smiling assassin. You could give. These were 2 brilliant finishes, man. These were some stealth, world-class finishes. I know they're kind of like simple, kind of he makes it look simple anyway, little strokes into the net, especially the first one. I like the way he's just standing still, and as soon as Maddi-Son gets to the byline ready to pull it back, he darts in front of the guys, and like I said, there's 3 defenders there, and he gets in front and he steals it, and he just squeezes it home off the post. That was a beautiful finish, man. I've watched that goal about 10 times since then. I think it's a great finish. And then the second goal, just cool as you like, rolls it in, and I think Son had a good game. Son was a problem, so well done for Son. I give Son an 8 as well. And so the subs that came on, I just do them all at once. Højbjerg, Solomon and Richarlison, I give them all a 6. They all worked hard and kept things steady. We lost our edge when the subs came on, naturally, because we lost Son and Maddi-Son and Johnson. So we lost our edge, which I thought those were 3 players who were partly responsible for the edge that we had. But I give them a 6. And then the manager, Big Ange. Ange Postecoglou, for me, gets a 9 out of 10. I thought he got it right. I thought his team selection was right. He started with the right team. I thought he should have started Brennan Johnson. He did. He's, the instructions to keep the ball and to be brave on the ball was very courageous. I like the way he's trying to get the team to play. And so I thought that was, he should be commended with that. The changes he made in the game were kind of self-explanatory, I guess. James Maddi-Son, I guess, is a precaution. Johnson is injured, and Son maybe save him for another day. Probably should have left him on to try and get his hat-trick, probably, but he's got to manage the squad. I'm not going to hold that against him too much, but well done for the manager. And he's really got the team playing well. Sets them out, and I like the way he's instilled a confidence and a trust in the players to say, go out there and do your thing. If it messes up, it's on me. And I like that. So as a result, they can now go out and express. So you got to give Ange all the credit for that one. He's saying all the right things at the moment, and he's doing all the right things. So well done to Ange. I give him a 9 out of 10. And lastly, the officials. They didn't have a bad game. There's only real one thing that sticks out in my mind, which is the penalty and the VAR decision. I mean, technically it's a handball. You could argue, does it stop the ball from going in the net? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, you're not surprised to see it given these days, but I don't think that should be given as a penalty, personally. Do you know what I mean? I like to see a bit more common sense applied, but hey, common sense has gone out the window these days. So they did okay. I'll give them overall a 7. You know, there weren't no controversy there. So apart from that one, I thought they kind of did well in the game. They managed the game well. The game was allowed to flow, and we enjoyed the game as a result of that. So yeah, so well done. Anyway, so those are my ratings. How did you see it? You know, who was your man of the match? Are there any players in there that you thought kind of caught your eye? And obviously going into the Liverpool game, are there any players there that you think that maybe you should come in? Maybe have a few injuries there. Who would you come in? Or let me know your ratings, what you thought about the match in the comments below.